CDL applicants are cheating on their CDL written exams. But today in this video, we're going to talk about everything. We're going to uncover together the CDL cheating scheme that is so brazen that it's very shocking. So CDL applicants are using hidden cameras, hacked t-shirts, and even earpieces in order to cheat on the CDL written exam.
Girls, they sisters, they was up there in New York, they was out there helping them folk pass their CDL. One girl even wore a whole damn disguise as a man with a beard and all kind of shit on to help them folks pass. Her sister worked behind the counter, so it was just a sure thing.
In New York, an immigrant identified as Anmo received a commercial driver sets license with one surprising detail. Instead of a name, it said no name given. The man, originally from India, reportedly entered the United States illegally in 2023.
What's going on, good and wonderful people? It's Taja here, back with another banger today. So, as you guys already know, the trucking industry largely depends on trust, but unfortunately, fraud continues to destroy the trucking industry. There are potentially thousands of truck drivers out here that are unqualified to drive, but they're operating on our roads at this very moment. And since the English Language Proficiency mandate has been enforced, a new study has come out, and basically the conclusions of that study said that there's a link between lack of English language proficiency and working for an unsafe carrier. However, the study cautions against saying that lack of ELP is a direct cause of being with an unsafe carrier or whatever it is. But basically, correlation does not equal causation, just like how we say that there is a link between being morbidly obese and having type 2 diabetes, but you can't say that obesity causes diabetes because this is math and science and statistics. All we have are correlations, but when it comes to, safety and, being cautious and, having any sense of self-preservation, I really don't want to take a chance when it comes to correlations. I don't know about you. But anyways, since I mentioned that, we got to bring up our co-host, the guy that I talk about in every single video, Mr. Gala Shivi. He basically brought this up in a video when he was reacting to the accident with Harjinder Singh, the guy that, did the illegal U-turn on the Florida Turnpike, and it turns out that he wasn't proficient in the English language. But regardless, Mr. Gala states that what does knowing English have to do with operating semi-trucks? The signs are intuitive.
The driver who caused the unfortunate accident in Florida was indeed Indian, didn't speak English, and this particular aspect is precisely what many people are focusing on. But what significant difference does it truly make what specific language he spoke if he deliberately tried to execute a U-turn in a location where there was a clearly visible and unambiguous no U-turn sign explicitly prohibiting such a maneuver? Well, it's crucial to understand that a sign, by its very nature, is not merely a spoken or written word. It's a universal symbol conveying a direct command or warning, transcending linguistic barriers. A sign is something that's drawn, and a word is where there are letters. And the no U-turn sign is universally recognized internationally. It's a crossed out arrow. So what does English have to do with it? 99% of the signs along American roads are intuitively understandable and internationally recognized.
Okay, Mr. Gala, my question for you was that what did this driver miss right here in this video? Because apparently there's a truck driver right now that's going viral for driving on the wrong side of a toll road. Now, he was confronted by another truck driver, not law enforcement, and when he was confronted by the truck driver, it was a clear and obvious language barrier between the two. So let's take a look at that.
You have got to be kidding me. I mean, what the are... Dude, what... What are you doing?
I'm going that way. Keep it right here. But it's not working. I'm done. I'll go the other side.
Let me ask you a question, man.
Okay.
You are going the wrong way down the freeway. You are committing a felony right now.
Okay, what I'm doing, sir?
For one, why the going the wrong way down the freeway?
That's all right. I'm doing it back.
So I looked up the company's DOT number, and I saw that the company he works for was actually Mac Logistics out of Shapoki, Minnesota. You look up the company on Google Earth, you see that they're actually based out of a trucking repair shop. You look at the company's safety report, you see that they drove for a whopping 1 mile in 2024. They have 3 drivers, 9 power units, and you see that one of the drivers that they have actually was put out of service. And I'm not sure if you can actually see what they were put out of service for. I'd have to look into that, but I'll let you know if I find out why he was put out of service, that said driver, for Mack Trucking. But in addition to that, you stroll all the way down, you see no real information about this carrier. It appears that this is a very, very new trucking company. Information is very limited. I find that very interesting.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Now, you can actually report trucking companies like Mack Logistics to the FMCSA when you see shenanigans like this, driving on the wrong side of the road. He wasn't confronted by law enforcement. He was confronted by a civilian, but there are obviously legal consequences for driving on the wrong side of the road. Like the driver said in the video, it's a felony. But it's up in the air if he'll actually ever get in trouble for it. He'll actually be caught, held accountable, etc. It's so easy for people to slip through the cracks, but unfortunately not everybody is lucky enough to slip through the cracks. In Nassau County, New York, 7 people were charged with DMV fraud.
Good white folks done locked up 7 motherfuckers behind that shit. Sister was the damn supervisor, y'all. She was the supervisor. Get this. Now, even though she had a disguise to come in there and do all this shit, one day she came there with her damn nails done. Got the nails, and that's what the lady said she saw that made her say, what the f-? And that's when the damn shit started, the investigation.
Now, can somebody explain to me, how do you forget to take off your fake nails? You go and impersonate yourself as a man. What kind of 2025 name for Martin type of is this right here? How did you f that up? You got away with it for a while, but you got caught.
Oh, Shanae, can you make me look like this?
Look here, I ain't no plastic surgeon, okay?
Absolutely ridiculous. Even with all these disguises, she looks absolutely nothing like the people that she was taking the test for. And shout out to Top Rope / Calvin Leak. Y'all go subscribe to him. He makes great content. He's pretty funny. But this is a tragedy, honestly. Trucking should be a 6-figure career. And for those individuals that don't have a college education and only have a high school diploma, trucking really does open the doors for you, or at least it should, because you have the opportunity to build wealth, provide for your families. And while that is still possible nowadays, it's clearly obvious that the wages in trucking have been suppressed and depressed for decades. Back then, truck drivers were making, what, $40,000 a year in the 1980s. In today's dollars, that's easily over $140,000 or something like that. I have to reference CAJ's post. I'll put it right here for you guys, but drivers are not averaging that at all. In fact, they're probably averaging somewhere in the 70,000s. Clearly not what they should be making, but you have to wonder when you hear stories like this, is this the reason why? People can cheat the system. They can obtain a CDL illegally. They can go work for a shady carrier that may have a low safety rating because of that study I referenced at the beginning of the video. They may not know a lick of English, and they may settle for lower wages, and thus they push out the veteran truck drivers that have been in this industry for years, but they can't get a decent enough paying trucking job because of all the fraud that's been going on in trucking that continues to destroy trucking. Now, I hope that this woman is prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Now, luckily, or maybe unluckily, depends how you look at it, the people that she took the test for, only one of them were able to actually get their full license. And I know that, after a year of holding a CDL permit, it expires, so you have to take the test again. But the fact that it was one person, that's one person too many, of course.
Out of all them folks that they helped, only one was able to pass the driving part. All the rest of them ain't passed. They didn't pass, they just paid $3,000 for nothing. But Buddy, who passed, he was working a whole job at the little dump place, and they ended up saying they finna fire him because he don't really righteously get his CDL. Now, that's fucked up.
But also, it just makes no sense to me. Like, it's kind of ridiculous what people do for money, because it's actually very, very easy to get a CDL permit. Literally, you can go online, take a bunch of practice tests, because the practice tests literally have the CDL test questions verbatim, and then you can go to the local DMV and actually take the test. And not only that, if this scandal involved non-domiciled CDLs, I don't know, even then, you can actually take the CDL test in a foreign language. That is still legal, at least for now. You can take your CDL in a different language, your CDL test in a different language, get your permit, and then, but you know, you obviously have to be able to take your road test in English, but you know, they found a way to cheat that too. Jesus.
Well, the state says they believe a CDL school that was here in Auburn sent cash to a third-party tester to pass its students. Now, the investigation found some students didn't even take the test and were awarded a license.
Now, the Nassau County DMV didn't say whether or not there was a scandal, or this scandal in particular involved non-domicile or foreign truck drivers obtaining a CDL. But in New York, it appears that there are cases with truck drivers that are here illegally obtaining CDLs. So there's a viral story going around where this truck driver out of New York was given a CDL that had no name given on it. So let's take a look at that.
So a truck driver from New York has been taken into custody this week after law enforcement officials discovered that he was operating a semi-truck with a commercial driver's license that wound up identifying him as no name given. That's what he used as his first and last name on his CDL license.
Man, originally from India, reportedly entered the United States illegally in 2023 and was recently arrested in Oklahoma during a routine truck inspection. His license, issued by the New York Department of Motor Vehicles in April 2025, was a commercial Class A license marked with a real ID star, a federal security standard.
Now, there are people out there saying that his CDL does say no name given, and while it does say no name given, you look at right there, it says that his first name is actually Amul. I hope I'm not butchering that. I probably am butchering that. I don't care. But it says his first name is Amul and his last name is no name given. Now, the New York DMV says that his name is actually a mononym. He doesn't actually have a last name. So in place of his last name, a placeholder, they have to put no name given. All right, cool. But you look at the top right-hand corner of the CDL, you see that there's a real ID star. Now, to get a real ID star, you actually have to present official documents verifying who you are, Social Security, your Social Security card, your birth certificate, passport. If he was here illegally, because mind you, this driver, Mr. Amul, was actually a part of that Oklahoma raid in which over 100 truck drivers that were here illegally were actually busted.
Reportedly entered the United States illegally in 2023 and was recently arrested in Oklahoma during a routine truck inspection.
So if he was here illegally, how was he able to obtain a CDL with a real ID on it? What documents did he present that validated his identity? Now, the state of New York, of course, they were able to say that, oh, the driver had federal work authorization paperwork that was valid enough to get their CDL, but the Department of Homeland Security, they're not having that. They came out and said that no, the state of New York improperly issued this CDL with a real ID star on it.
New York officials confirmed that the license is genuine and was issued under the state's green light law, which allows undocumented immigrants to obtain driver's licenses. The controversy comes as the federal government continues its lawsuit against that law, arguing it blocks cooperation between state and immigration authorities. Now, the case of the no-name given driver has become a symbol of the growing clash between state and federal immigration policies in the United States.
Now, I wonder which carrier that Mr. Amul worked for, because, you know, at the beginning of the video, we talked about that study about how drivers that lack English language proficiency, they're going to work for unsafe carriers. But then again, I don't know if Mr. Amul is proficient in English language or not. It's a coin flip at this point, but obviously the DMV dropped the ball. We're dealing with weak verification issues. We're dealing with discrepancies. We're dealing with the state governments, the federal governments disagreeing. And because of all this, the insurance giants are now stepping in.
This title says here, insurance companies likely to take hard stance on non-domiciled CDLs, right? And we talked about this before. You know, you're not going to see a change if you don't see the insurance companies, you don't see the shippers taking accountability for what's going on. So in this right here, it states a change in insurance policies could be coming to the trucking industry, signaling a major shift in their approach to non-domiciled commercial driver's license. As enforcement of the new domicile CDL rule takes shape, insurance companies are likely to position themselves to avoid potential liability exposure.
It is likely that starting in 2026, insurance companies are going to deny carriers that employ non-domiciled CDL drivers. Now, this change stems from the interim final rule that was announced by Sean Duffy a few weeks ago. And basically, if you're a non-citizen or you currently possess a non-domiciled CDL, you face a lot of restrictions when it comes to obtaining a CDL or getting that CDL renewed. And to avoid liability from nuclear verdicts, insurance companies are likely to fall in line with these policies. Miranda from the Trucking Made Successful YouTube channel, somebody that I actually mentioned in my previous video, you guys go check that out. She says on X, heard this as well. Many insurance companies will now be taking a very close look at CDLs of drivers listed on the policy. According to several agents, insurance companies are looking to deny coverage in cases of non-domiciled CDLs. The reason is simple. The new rule states that if states become aware that a limited term CDL holder no longer qualifies for the CDL under the new rule, it must be downgraded. Considering that we are already seeing downgrades happening, insurance companies will not want to risk insuring someone whose CDL can become invalid in real time at any moment. Now, if these carriers, they can't get insurance for these truck drivers, that means they have to go out of service, right? They have to shut down, it's a lost cause. They got to move on, forget about it, move on, right? Like this is going to happen, right? Like these trucking companies, they can't get away with this. They can't cheat the insurance companies. There can't be any instances of insurance fraud, right? Getting claims paid out, it won't be an issue because, these carriers, they're not in service and they have to have the proper insurance, right?
And this is Yashfeen Brand posting anonymously as Brittany Wayne, even has a Gmail account with Brittany Wayne as the email address. And they are offering insurance services. Rather, they're saying Brittany Wayne is their agent and you should reach out to them. But they're posting it as Brittany Wayne. They're claiming to be Brittany Wayne and claiming to be the insurance agent. Yet their name is Yashfeen Brand.
Well, y'all know how it goes. If you enjoy content like this, hit the like button, comment, rate, share, and subscribe. I am Taja Ellison, and I'll see you next time.